What's good? What's good? A topic that I often discuss is the increasing polarization of our population and how that is intentional. The ruling elites divide us so we're easier to conquer. It's a strategy that is very old. And there's been this George Orwell quote. I'm going to try to paraphrase it that's been going around where he said, the political battle of the future is not going to be against liberals and conservatives. It's going to be against, it's going to be libertarians against authoritarians. And he was spot on to a very scary degree. Uh, People make the memes and they make the jokes and the posts about how we're living through like this weird combination of 1984 and Fahrenheit 451 and Animal Farm and Brave New World. So we're living through this just weird concoction of dystopian nightmares. And yet, like, we're just going about our daily lives, paying our stupid bills, making our measly salaries, all while truly dystopian events are unfolding. And that leads me to the greater topic of this video. How do we agree to disagree and share a society? Because more and more people are becoming authoritarians, and it's quite scary. It's very scary. Like, not to scare you and not to fearmonger. We're going to win ultimately, but we have to push back and we have to fight back. But I think one of the first things in fighting back we need to try to do is to de-radicalize people. We have to try. That's the first step, because at least for me personally, and I'll tell you why, because I am not naive to believe I may not need to use violence in my life at some point. I said that very badly. I'm sorry. But I don't want to use violence, but I might have to. I do see the potential for like real fucking shit to go down, as crazy as that might sound. I don't want that to be the case. So I'm trying diplomacy first. But it has been very unsuccessful because the left make it impossible. And here's kind of the proof for that. It is entirely possible to agree to disagree in an anarcho-capitalist society. It is exactly impossible to agree to disagree in a communist society. In a leftist authoritarian world, you cannot agree to disagree because they are totalitarians, and more people are waking up to that point and that fact. All in the name of social justice. So when I talk about the Matrix, I occasionally will talk about the Matrix. Let's use social justice as an example of my Matrix when I talk about it. What used to be civil rights, so like in the 60s, the 70s, civil rights activism, that changed, that morphed over time, like 80s, 90s, early aughts. uh, and it slowly turned into rather recently this social justice. You can see that as the concept going through an iteration of its cycle. And when something is recreated, it loses parts of its original essence, or the essence of what was being recreated. And it changes. So it's similar but different. And the more and more you recreate something, the more and more you iterate the recreation process, the further and further away something gets from its original essence, its original design. And so when we moved from civil rights to social justice, that iteration, though maybe seemingly trivial, was actually quite significant. Because now social justice is being weaponized for tyranny in the name of things like the ESG scores and all the other shit that the World Economic Forum wants to usher in, and that they're using these woke fucking idiots. Sorry, I'm trying to be less. I'm trying to be like less aggressive because we're not going to de-radicalize people by being aggressive. I get that, but these people are impossible to agree to disagree with. Hate speech laws are growing. Like okay, I'm gonna end the video before I get too far into it, but let me just end it reiterating the point that you can agree to disagree in a capitalist society. You can't agree to disagree in a communist society. And so that is why I believe leftist ideals and ideologies are very, very harmful. Thank you very much. Much love, y'all.